Shalom, real quick, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Lukakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video Overlords, Vassals, and Serfs. Meaning, so I put it in Overlords, Vassals, and Serfs. Another part of the title, let me come back, is all kingdoms use this system of government. So it says here, eventually the lords themselves become vassals of a king. Vassals mean a middle class. Common people called peasants, which are the serfs, and you know, when they captured the Israelites and bring them over here to the serf slavery in America, mainly in the South, you had a lord, you had the lord of the house, you had the taskmasters, which is usually Irish, or also called indentured servants. You also had indentured servants under the taskmasters, which were serfs, and then you could even use the word underserved, because we are underserved, we're a slave. We didn't get paid. The only reason why we slept in a quarters, slave quarters, and ate was to keep us, was fuel to keep us working. So that wasn't, you can't say that's a form of payment. The slave did not get paid. Now they started getting paid during the time of the sharecroppers. You tend the land, and you got a certain percentage of I'm talking about in the South, of whatever you brought in, whether it be cotton, whatever, corn, whatever. But then when it was time for you to get paid, they said, "Oh, you sold all your money's gone in the company store. You went to the company store. You needed boots, you needed overalls, you needed this, you needed that. So you really don't get no money." So even after post-slavery, you were still enslaved. And that's Ezekiel, was at 35 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. It says, eventually the lords, which are the noblemen themselves, became vassals of a king. A king is an overlord. A vassal is your middle management. And serfs are your lower class, your working class. They farmed the land and did the other work that supported the lords and vassals, supported the overlords and vassals. Peasants, which are serfs, called serfs, lived in a village near the lord's castle. Every system is set up this way, in this order. They may not say, well, this system is they'll say democracy, republicanism, or the democratic system, or republic. Give me a second here. Every system that you go into, where you have a king or a overhead, you have the overlords, vassals, which are the middle class, and sometimes you had vassals that became lords and ultimately overlords. So if anything, we experienced in slavery, we were considered under serfs, because we didn't get paid anything. Serfs got paid very little money. And I'm doing this video because I'm landbacking off of a video that Apostle Kabar had did. The 4 levels of feudalism, and this system that any system that we're living in is a feudal system. Look up the word feudalism. A feudal system The four levels of feudalism are as follow: monarchs, which is a king; nobles, which are the ones that are next to the king, that live in a castle with the king; knights, which are under the nobles and the monarchs; peasants or serfs, which we would be considered sub-peasants. What do you think Esau and the other nations? The other nations are going to pretty much be serfs, and but the Esau is going to be a under serf. He's going to be a straight up slave. All of them are going to go into slavery, but the ones that's going to catch it the most are the Edomites. What was the relationship between lords, vassals, and serfs? Vassals, which are your middle class. I'll give you an example of the middle class. You got upper middle, you have middle, you got lower middle. Like the working class, the people that go to work and their wives work, they work, and the kids might work, and they're trying to make it, sending their kids to college. That would be considered the middle class. Lower middle to middle class. Upper middle class would be Elon Musk, because I believe he's a citizen, U.S. citizen. Recently, he was born in South Africa, but he would be a vassal, and he would be an upper middle class. So he can rub elbows with the lords. The lords could be the politicians, but they're vassals too. Because the politicians, the presidents, they have to answer to the lords. And we all know who the lords are, where the lords dwell. They dwell in England. Vassals and serfs are not the same thing. Vassals often worked for noblemen who owned lands. That's your upper vassals and your lords, overlords. A vassal essentially acted as a property manager for a lord. Serfs were those who worked the land as farmers. Why do you think in the slavery of the South, why were they on plantations? What is a plantation? A plantation is another word for a farm. Anyway, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.